Morning, how we doing? It's Friday at last look. Just gonna head out west to these diggers that we saw on Wednesday. Hopefully tie those jobs up, and on the way back there's a 140 LCR-5 to service. He wants us at the back end of the day, and I'll be driving right past, so we'll get that job done. Jobs. So I'll get out of Carlisle and head out west, and I can't foresee anything going wrong. The only thing that might take longer than expected is this 225 wiper motor. If it's not the motor, then we're gonna have to start. I did check the wiring briefly, everything seemed okay. That's the only job that I think, if it's not the wiper motor, we're going to have a wiring problem. And that might take a bit of digging about. But no matter, it's Friday. What could possibly go wrong? Right, first job, lock valve on that 8-tonner and that heater valve. So I'll do the lock valve first. Look at the state, by the way. You've seen this? Goodness. Where are we at? Wiper motor. I might not get that service done today. There's a 140 LC3 with regen problems, which is further on down the road from the wiper motor jobs. So we'll just have to see what the day brings. Where's this stuff? Right. Bits and pieces together for this job and get this one done as quick as possible. Right, so that's the new lock valve. That's the old lock valve off. All I need to do is swap everything across and fit it. Nice and easy, this one. And we'll move into the cab once I've got this job done. I am just mounting this. What I've done is I've tightened these bolts up, tightened these fittings, and I've loosened them again. So we get a nice tight fit on here, and it sits square on the fitting. Right, that's it fitted. I've just left this pilot pipe loose, and what we'll do is we'll start it up and just gently push down on the lever, so you're pushing the arm down, just bleed any air out of there, and then we'll lock it off, put the cover back on, and that's one of two jobs done. That's the new heater valve. It just turns the water on and off into the cab as you set the temperature, and you can just see how damp it is there. Obviously in behind here you've got the cab filter, and then you've got the fan, so it doesn't look like much, but it's sort of always keeping dry, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to clamp these coolant pipes off and hope for the best. Oh, if you want to test someone's patience, put a couple of tiny little screws in the back of there and have the peril of dropping them onto the blooming bottom of there. They were a fiddle to get back in. That's the new valve on. I'll just put this heater arm back on if I can. Trying to get them screws out. I've bent that plate back so that arm doesn't reach, so I'm going to have to try and prise that back over. Oh look, there's a pry bar in this cab. Bend this back over. There, that's where it lives. Perfect, just minor adjustments there. Pop this on. There we go. So that motor turns this tap, you've got coolant coming through, and it just restricts the flow of coolant going through the heater matrix, which brings the cab temperature hot or cold. Right, 2 down, 2, possibly 3 to go. We'll see how we get on at the 140. We'll go and get this 225 sorted out and on the 140. I don't know if we'll make that service. Like, it is 4 minutes past 12. So that one, it's only 15 minutes away from Carlisle, so I'm sure I'll be able to squeeze that in next week if I need to. not the end of the world. Breakdowns take priority over services, unless they've been waiting a long time for the service. Right, I'll mosey on to the next job. Right, wiper motor job. You can see I've plugged the new one in and it was still doing it. So I've gone in the back of the cab and fitted the new controller to go with the new wiper. I think, see that green dot on there? That and the new park thing as a green dot. I'm sure there was something of that anyway. Somebody did comment about the fuses, check the fuses. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but yeah, you've got a fuse for the wiper park controller and a fuse for the wiper motor itself. The fuse for the wiper motor also feeds the refueling pump, and quite often the refueling pump will seize up, put a load on the electrics and blow the fuse for the wiper motor, and then your wiper motor doesn't work properly. So yeah, I did check that the other day on Wednesday. It's 15 amp fuse and a 10 amp fuse, and they're both okay. So I'll fit that controller and put the back of the cab together, and then we'll strip out all of that, put that new wiper in. Jolly good. My heart did sink for a moment when I plugged that new one in, and it continued to do the same thing as the other one. Like, I won't deny it. Right, I'll plug all this lot back together. So that's us put back together nearly. Just check it before we button it up, but that's it, wiping, and then park it up. That's it, perfect. So slip this back around, sit it on there. Got this plate to put back on now. Where's that gone? Under the cab, I think. Yeah, you can that's what it was using. Right, pilot accumulator after this. That's just a 2-minute job. Right, there we go, a new pilot accumulator fitted. There's the old one. We'll leave it at that. Pack up and head on to the next job. And we're going to put this, I'll put this in that big bag, and then it doesn't make an oily mess inside the van. Right, I'll head on now, sort of round the coast, and try and find this next digger. It's a 140-3 and it has DPF trouble. Right, here we are, 140 LC3, and if you head over that way you'll end up on the Isle of Man, I think. Can't see it for the cloud today, but I bet on a clear day you could see it. So yeah, we'll have a look. Now the dash 3s, I cut my teeth on the dash 3s, so I should know my way around this one. Regeneration fault. There's a couple of things to look for on this: the injector, the engine wiring loom. I think this one's got to the point where it thinks that the soot in the exhaust has exceeded its limit, so it's put it into a limp mode, and there's things we can do to sort of bring it back to life. So we'll get the laptop out, that's the first job, and see what the score is. Maximum soot mass in particulate filter. So I'll go and do a couple of bits on here first. So the DPF filter's blocked, and normally what I do is put my laptop on it, tell the machine that it's had a new DPF filter, and then do a couple of bits what I'm going to do now, and then do a force region, and it clears itself out. There's other bits and pieces on these diggers to look out for as well, but This is the diesel injector here that brings the temperature in the exhaust up. So it sprays diesel into the exhaust manifold, and that's what raises the temperature in the exhaust. Some other machines use post injection in the cylinders, but the Dash 3s have this injector assembly here. So I'll take that off and have a look at the injector, because they get sooted up and they don't spray properly. That's the little diesel injector that puts the fuel in, and you can see the tip of it's all sooted up. And I've taken the water jacket off it, and that hole was all closed up as well, similar to what you see on the AdBlue injectors. So I'll just clean that up, and I'll clean that up too. We'll refit it and we'll try and get it to do a force regen and go from there. So what I want to do now is warm the coolant temperature up to 68 degrees, or the machine has to be running for, I think it's 15 minutes before it'll let the machine go into a forced regen. So I'm just doing that now. Right, I've got it into a regen now. After a bit of a performance, normally what I do is go to this end of life here. You click that and then it says change DPF. So basically you trick the machine into thinking it's got a new DPF filter, and then it'll then let you do a force regen. But I couldn't do it through this diagnostic software, but you can see how it's not illuminated. But I was able to do it through another one. So I've got it into a state of forced regen. What I need to do now is keep an eye on the exhaust temperatures here. So on these Dash 3 machines, the engine harness has a habit of playing up. You've got 3 temperature sensors in the exhaust, 2 in the DPF sensor, so one before the DPF, one after the DPF, and one in the DOC. Those sensors plug into the engine harness, and then the earths from those 3 temperature sensors go into a splice. So the 3 earths turn into one wire, and that splice is prone to vibration. So as the machine's working and doing an auto regen, the vibration skews the temperatures that the machine's reading. So in some cases the temperature can go lower, in which case the injector doses more diesel into the exhaust, which causes white smoke. So you might have seen a Doosan white smoking. That could be a cause. Another thing that you can do, instead of the temperature going too low, the temperature exceeds the threshold of, I think it's 650 degrees. So it spikes to, I've seen them go to 1,000 degrees. Obviously the machine doesn't want to warm itself up to 1,000 degrees, so it'll knock itself out of an auto regen. So it's then in that cycle of not doing automatic regens, and it comes to the point where the DPF filter's blocked. So in essence what I'm saying is I'm keeping an eye on these temperatures. They should be fairly sort of similar. You'd expect the DOC temperature to be, you know, lower than the DPF inlet, and then the DPF outlet temperature should be the highest, I think, from what I can remember. But I'll keep an eye on it. So it's burning away now. It has been for the last 9 minutes. What I'm keeping an eye on, obviously this is the soot mass in the particulate filter. Now before I started it was at over 40 grams. That sound about right? Can't remember, it was 40,000, 4,000, 40. Anyway, obviously it's zeroed now because the machine thinks that we've replaced the DPF filter. But it hasn't obviously reset the number of seconds since it last completed a successful regen. So you can see that number there, that big long one. What I'm going to do is put that into my phone, divide it by 60 and divide it by 60 again, and that'll tell me how many hours it's been since it last did a successful regen. Yeah, I think there's a glitch in the matrix, because there's absolutely no way the last time it did a successful regen was 6,274 hours ago. I mean, the machine's only done 7,500 hours, so anyway, what we'll look for when the machine's finished its regen, there's two ways you can know if it's done it successfully. One, if you've got the software, you can be plugged into it, and that operation time since last successful regen should reset to 0. If you don't have the laptop, you know it's done a forced regen correctly. At the minute, as you can see, it's running at 1800 RPM. When it's finished its regen, what it should do is go down to 1400 RPM, and that's its cool down process, which it'll do for about 5 minutes. And then after that, it'll drop back down to idle. If you're doing a forced regen on a Dash 3 and it goes straight from 1800 down to idle, it hasn't successfully done it. Because basically what's happened is it's running at 1800 RPM, parameters aren't met, that means it's into a regeneration and it stops trying. Normally takes about 35-40 minutes, so it takes a while like. So you can see those temperatures there, they're looking about right. It's, how long has this been on for now? 24 minutes. So it started bang on 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And also the differential pressure is starting to drop as well, which is the pressure in the, you know, the differential pressure before and after the DPF filter. Yeah, it's all looking good at the moment. So that's it, complete its regen. As you can see, the second counter has reset, and also it's down to 1400 RPM, which is its cool down. You can still see in the top left corner the regeneration light. That's just warning the operator that the exhaust is still hot, so it'll still be about 500 odd degrees at the moment. So I'll let it do its cool down. Another job to do with this machine was to look into, same as the last job, wiper fault. Got a mind of its own, look. So I've got a wiper controller on the van. I carry one with me, so I'll try it. I've already had a look at the fuses, so we'll see. Now that it's done its forced regen as well, I might just set it off into another one while I'm changing the wiper park controller, just because it's the suck was extremely high, and I don't think one regen will be enough to kind of give it a good burnout, so we'll give it another one, I think. The new park control system has fixed it. That's why I carry them on the van. So we'll unscrew this in and fit the new one. Right, 28 minutes past 4, that's him away back to work, and he is actually going back into the woods to work as well, bless him. Some folk are just mad for it, aren't they? Yeah, I'm just coming down this old track back towards the main road. It's funny what you sort of learn to keep on the van. Like I say, well, there's evidence of it, 2 wiper controllers in a day. You kind of, my rule of thumb is, if I've used it more than 3 times and it's not too bulky and not too expensive, I'll keep it on the van for such occasions. And I think I am going to put a pilot accumulator in the van, because we fitted one today, I've got another one to fit next, another 2 to fit next week. So yeah, I am going to put one on the van. Save us going back to some of these jobs for a little job like that. So yeah, it's not been a bad day. I would like to have got that service squeezed in, but by the time I get through to where the site is, it'll be after, it'll be nearly 6 o'clock, and I think the site will be locked up. I've phoned and let the driver know, and we'll just catch it next week at some point. So yeah, all is well. Right, it's Friday. I'm gonna head straight home and enjoy the weekend. I hope you guys do as well. If you haven't already, please, if you don't mind, click the subscribe button. I know some folk have actually, when I've been doing my videos on sites, what's this subscribe thing? You click the subscribe button if you're watching the videos and you like them and you want to see more. Click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It just means that when the video comes out, you'll get a little notification if you have your notifications turned on. So yeah, give it a little click, and also let us know that you've enjoyed the video by giving it the thumbs up, the like button underneath. Right, I'm off. Have a good weekend.